Mississippi. I'm a former Major League ball player, the St. Louis Cardinals, Philadelphia Phillies. I have a little over 6 years in the major leagues. I played during the mid-'80s, early '90s, and played over 20 years overall, including the minor leagues and major leagues. Um, it wasn't hard. The only thing was with that situation, you got more media, you got guys that are more competitive, and you have a lengthy schedule. But if you love the game of baseball and you're willing to work hard and learn as much as you can, and be in a position where you're always keeping the first things first in your life, you'll prioritize yourself and keeping your eyes on the prize, and never give up on yourself. I said to myself, if I'm playing minor league baseball, college baseball, if I get an opportunity to play pro ball, then hey, I'm going for all of it. I'm going to the top. So it's not easy. You just got to be willing to make those sacrifices. Oh, absolutely. There's a number of things. The guys are bigger now, opposed to when I played. The speed game is down. When I played, every team had speed, and every team had black ball players. But it's not the same in that category anymore. I would love to see more black ball players in the game, and I like to be in a position where I can make a difference to where we can get a lot more black ball players in the baseball game. Unto the major leagues, that's what I'm saying. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done there, and it's going to take an effort from a lot of people, including parents. Taking the time out, going to those little league ball games. That's what I'm familiar with. Back in the day, coming up as a youth in Jackson, Mississippi. Parents, we had a lot of support from parents, and it was almost like they couldn't wait to see the ball games. A lot of talent, so there was a lot of good teams, so it was always exciting. So if we can bring the attitude back and the focus back, and develop the talent a lot better than what it is, hey, those days probably could come back, hopefully soon. That was many. Some I don't want to talk about, but being my second year pro ball. My second year pro ball, I had a downfall. I had never struggled before at any level. And I struggled my second year pro ball. And basically I was at a point to where I wanted to quit. And I had no confidence in myself. So I had this gentleman, he was one of our pitching coaches in the Cardinals organization. His name was Bo Milliken. God bless you, Bo, again. Still talking about you. I don't know, I never really talked with Bo. But he saw me in front of my locker one day in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I guess he felt that I just needed a hand. I needed someone to pick me up, and he sensed that. So he gave me an inspirational card for me to read, and he said, "Don't quit." And I read that card, man, and after I read it, I made my mind up that I wasn't going to quit, and I worked harder. I was more determined, and I was more competitive. So in other words, the lion came out of me, because here's a guy that I really didn't talk to, but he showed enough interest in me. And hey, Bo's older white gentleman, but with a big heart for people, and I really admired that, and he really made a difference in my life. But that was one of my lowest points. Highest points were playing in the World Series. I had my opportunity to play the 1987 World Series and was able to get the game-winning hit off Bert Blyleven in Game 5, and that was one of my biggest highlights. Along with a lot of others. Hitting 2 home runs in the ball game against Montreal, batting cleanup, getting my first major league hit off Lee Smith, and had several All-Star votes that wasn't even on the ballot in 1987. So. There was a lot of good highlights, and there was some dark moments, but the good outweighed the bad. Well, just being able to communicate with people better, be more outgoing, be in a position to where you understand money better and money management, and not be so frivolous with your money where you're just spending and buying any and everything. So in everyday life, playing baseball taught me a lot. Being around the ball players, the older players, it was a life learning experience. And like I said, being socializing better with people, interacting, and just basically being more outgoing, in those aspects. Put God first, and I truly mean that, because I had to do that. And if it works for me, it'll work for anyone. God is a loving God, and I tell you, man, if you show love, you get love. I always will say that because it really made putting God first in my life. Coming out of college, was when I had a lot of dark moments too. My first year, and being able to get myself together with the help of some very nice people there in Jackson, Mississippi, and getting closer and learning more about God Almighty, it really made a difference. Myself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You be your own man.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of good players that I admired, but I had to understand that hey, they did their thing. Now it's time for me to do my thing.
Exactly.
There was a lot of different places where we played in the major leagues where I really enjoyed myself and had a good time, and look forward to going back even today.
Yes, sir.
Montreal, San Francisco, LA, San Diego, and all the major cities. But the one place that I say I enjoyed the most, I have to say St. Louis, Missouri. The St. Louis Cardinals, baby. That's where that's where it all started. So that's foremost it touches my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Because, that's where I started. There was a few of them. But I would have to say there was a couple of them that really stands out, and I'd say Dennis Martinez, Pascual Perez, and Gooden at the end. He got me at the end, the tail end, but I had a few hits off Dwight and Nolan Ryan and a few other guys, big name pitchers, but Pascual Perez and Dennis Martinez stands out. I guess they understood me. they ended up pitching me backwards, basically, and had some success against me. But as a player, you want to learn. You want to understand how your competitor is trying to attack you, and you must you must make that adjustment. So you have to learn. You got to be a student of the game, so that you understand how other teams are trying to attack you, other pitchers. And you want to learn, certain things about how to go about making that necessary adjustment to get yourself back on track.
We'll be in the game before it's over. And a long one down the right side, and yes, it's gone. Ford hits his second home run of the night.
I feel that when I'm coming off the bench, I got to be very aggressive up there, and also at the same time be selective.